Hi everybody, and welcome back to another episode of Taking Care of Business. And it seems this is now becoming part of my job description since I've been invited again to host. And on this week's episode, I'm joined by Jordan Wilks, our newest Senior Recruitment Consultant. The reason we are here is namely to introduce to you guys back home that we are on the hunt for our next batch of millionaires. Hence, we are back in the UK literally in less than a week. The cities that we're going to be traveling to this time are London, Manchester, Birmingham and Newcastle. How many agents have you hired that are on that track of becoming a millionaire or very wealthy?
There are so many people in the business that I can think of who are on that track, even who have made so far this year, who are on the track to make £100,000 in the first year.
Dubai became the world's #1 real estate market, actually topping London, New York and Paris. For those of you that haven't seen, we've actually launched Data Hub. We've basically put it on a plate and introduced it to the world and said, you want to buy a property, you want to rent a property, you want mortgage advice, well actually do you want to know what they've sold for, do you want to know about market trends? And we've packaged it in a way that makes it super simple. And I am not going to lie, I did look at every transaction in the last 90 days in my community.
Doesn't sound like you.
I am the epitome of a nosy neighbour. So, hi everybody, and welcome back to another episode of Taking Care of Business. And it seems this is now becoming part of my job description since I've been invited again to host. And on this week's episode, I'm joined by Jordan Wilks, our newest Senior Recruitment Consultant. Welcome, Jordan.
Thank you very much. 1 year in the business and I've finally been invited onto a podcast.
Only taken you 1 year. Is that because you're a top recruiter and you're too busy, or?
It's because I'm way too busy. Don't have time to come on these podcasts, but for you, I've made 20 minutes today.
I like it. Well, let's not disappoint the viewers back home then. Jordan, I want to make a bit more of an introduction about you. Yes, you've been with us for a year. Why did you choose to join Allsopp Allsopp?
It's like I said to you in the interview, I joined Allsopp Allsopp because they are the best, and I am the type of person where I have to be the absolute best at everything that I do. And I remember saying to you in the interview, you asked me, if we didn't give you the job, are you still going to come to Dubai? And I said, I'll still probably come to Dubai, no, but I feel like everywhere I go to now, it'll just be plan B. I don't want plan B. I need the best. And thankfully you gave me the opportunity, even though you said I was a risk.
You were a risk, but risks pay off sometimes. And that's going to be a theme within our podcast actually today. The reason we are here is namely to introduce to you guys back home that we are on the hunt for our next batch of millionaires. It's not usually something that you hear of so often when you go for a job interview, but we've made more millionaires and high-performing agents than any other agency in Dubai. And guess what? As we grow and the Dubai real estate market grows, we need more of you to decide to make the move to Dubai. Hence, we are back in the UK literally in less than a week to host our next recruitment event. So we're going to talk about that in just a second. But the cities that we're going to be traveling to this time are London, Manchester, Birmingham and Newcastle, the Toon.
I'm excited for the Newcastle one. The first time we've ever been there.
First time we've been there, well no, it's the second time, but first time wasn't so successful. So we hope, please, this time it will be better.
Yeah, well my mum is from Sunderland, so I've got northeast roots in my family. But if you were to say she was, well, if I said to my mum, you're a Geordie, she'd probably slap me.
Oh, thank you. Well, hopefully she's going to be able to get some people over the line for us as well. Let me ask you, Jordan, I said that we've made more millionaires and high-performing agents than any other agency. How many agents have you hired that are on that track of becoming a millionaire or very wealthy?
Yeah, I think it's important to set the expectations straight away that we are not expecting anyone to come in and become a millionaire in the first year. It'd be stupid of us to kind of sell you that dream and tell you that that's what's going to happen. But there are so many people in the business that I can think of who are on that track, even who have made so far this year, who are on the track to make £100,000 in the first year. I mean, if you're making £100,000 tax-free in Dubai, you would have to be making at least maybe 180 to 200k in the UK to be able to see that money. So that's the difference. Real estate, it's an accelerator to success.
An accelerator for success, yes. But in terms of why people are successful, why do you think it's easier or quicker for people to make more money here than in other parts of the world?
I think a lot of it is to do with the whole culture and mindset of Dubai, and that goes all the way from the top. I mean, the Sheikh wants Dubai to be the biggest and best at everything, and I've seen him in his own interviews and podcasts where he says, "Why can't my people have the best now?" And
rather than waiting,
and that trickles down to every single person who lives here. And when you do have that mindset of, I don't want to just work 9 till 5, I want to come here and I want to make some money, I want to be a millionaire. If you said to someone in the UK, or certainly where I'm from in Hull, I want to become a millionaire, they'll probably laugh at you and say, good luck. If you say, I want to become a millionaire in Dubai, it's me too. How are we going to get there? That's the difference.
The can-do attitude.
Yeah.
Why do you think the naysayers will say, oh, it's impossible, you can't do it?
I think it's because they're trapped in this mindset, and maybe it's parts of the world where they're from, or just the culture that they've been brought up in, and it could be like a generational thing where they've got this mindset of, you have to go to work at 9 o'clock and you come home at 5, you don't think about it again, and you collect your pension when you're 65, you go on one holiday a year, and that's it.
Yep.
People from Dubai are not like that, and it's very hard to get out of that mindset in the UK and because unfortunately you've usually got people around you who are trying to keep you in that comfort zone, and it's the easiest thing for you to do, to remain in that comfort zone. But then when you actually do think, do you know what, I'm going to do this, I'm going to show these people that their thought process is wrong, and I can do it, I can move to the other side of the world, I can go into a commission only role, and I'm going to make some money.
So what we're looking for from the people that we're hopefully going to meet in the UK next week is people that want to challenge what they know, challenge what they think is possible, and maybe break the chain in terms of building generational wealth. Because actually here in Dubai, lots of people can be, well, certainly lots of my friends are the example of, they're breaking away from what they already knew, they're moving to Dubai, they're working in real estate or other industries, on the hope and hopefully the trajectory that they're going to build generational wealth, which maybe has not been in their families before.
Yeah, no, I agree. I think just on the point that I said before, it's the people that you surround yourself with that are going to make a difference to how well you do in life. There's that saying, if you hang around with 6 lazy people, you'll become the 7th. And it works the same way. If you're surrounded by 6 motivated people, you'll become the 7th. And when you do come into a place like Allsopp Allsopp, where the culture is very much, I want to get to the top, how are we all going to get there together? It makes a massive difference, because you're not on your own. You're not sat there with your mates who are laughing at you for wanting to actually do something in life.
I like that. Okay, so we're looking for people who want to challenge what's possible and be surrounding themselves with people that force them to level up, right?
100%.
Good. Okay, so let's talk about the recruitment event for just a second. We are going to be back in the UK. This is your 3rd UK recruitment event that you've been involved with, right?
Yes.
And after each event, we always do a debrief on the people that were amazing, the people that we're going to potentially roll the dice with and take a risk. I think it's really important for the people watching and listening to this at home that we are looking for people that really want to change their life. As twee and as pie in the sky as it might sound, you can move to Dubai, you can work in real estate, and if you work hard enough, you can change your life. And we will be talking about what it takes to actually make the move, the support and the guidance that you're going to expect from the recruitment team, the HR team, the line managers and the senior leadership team when you arrive, and ultimately how we can help you be more successful. Ultimately, that's the big theme. We've mentioned throughout this recent recruitment event, millionaire, the word millionaire, and you're smirking. But when you say millionaire, or you talk about money, it can be perceived to be quite crass. It's like a taboo subject, right?
Yes.
We at Allsopp and Allsopp continue to make lots of high-performing individuals, lots of millionaires within real estate because of the platform, because of the support, the guidance, the training, etc. that we give. You've obviously worked with us now for the last year. You've seen people come in and trust the process.
Yeah.
Talk to us about some of the people that have trusted the process.
I'd say Safi Commons is a very good example of someone who's come in, probably one of the best interviews that I've ever had.
Okay.
And she come in from absolutely no real estate experience. She was a sales manager. I honestly can't remember the industry that she was in because it still confuses me to this day.
Okay.
And even when I speak to her now, I go, I still don't get what you did. But
she's great with people.
She's unbelievable. She's very good with people. She's very personable. She is a workaholic. She is exactly what we look for in someone. And she has come in and she's listened to everything that we've said to her on the interview process, that your first month or two is going to be tough. You're going to be on the phones a lot. You're going to be making 50 to 100 calls a day.
Yep.
If you consistently hit those numbers and you don't go home at night demotivated and you're able to reset yourself, you will be successful. You will get listings. She closed her first sales deal. I think it was within her second month, which usually for someone in sales is normally about 3 or 4 months down the line.
Correct.
Now she's well on track to be one of those people who is going to make 100,000 in her first year. She's moved to Til Al Gaf, which is a community that I think we're going to talk about in a couple of minutes.
Yep.
And she's doing really well. She is everything that we want for this business.
Okay, so she's one example. She has joined us. She's been successful. There are many people like her within our organisation though, right? So are there any people that don't necessarily have the same traits as her that have also been successful? Because you talk about her being very organised. I didn't meet Safi myself during an interview, but I've met her since, and she's very methodical. She cares about everything that she does. She puts 100% effort into it. Are there individuals that get to the same path of success without those things?
There is a certain individual who I can think of, who anyone from Allsopp Allsopp who is listening to this podcast will know him very well. His name's Carter Costello, and there's a very funny story because he's probably the best person that I've hired in terms of the numbers that he's doing now.
Okay.
But it was not always the case when he first arrived. So he was someone who, and I will still call him this to his face, I thought he was going to be a car crash when he first started because he missed his flight, and by miss his flight, there was something to do with he didn't have a COVID test at the time. He didn't have a negative COVID test, and he completely forgot to do one. He was supposed to book a hotel, and he, for whatever reason, decided to book 2 days in advance to when he was actually here. The hotel was full and his flight was literally the next day.
Okay.
So what I had to do is walk around Dubai at 10 o'clock at night, finding a hotel for this man to make sure that he's got somewhere to stay for when he first gets here.
Okay.
And then all of a sudden, I book him a hotel. I ended up picking him up on the Monday, taking him to work, basically just babysat him all the way through.
Okay.
And he is an absolute dream.
So you would like to say then that he had a rocky-ish start, but you were there to support, guide, look after him as good recruiters do.
100%.
But actually it's paid dividends now because he is excelling in what he's doing.
He is on the brink of billing a million dirhams, and he's only been in the company for 8 months. And to put that into perspective, a million dirhams means that he's took home 500,000 dirhams. That's about £110,000, and he's not even a year in.
So we're saying to people listening and watching this, it is highly possible that you can earn 100,000, 6 figures inside your first year in real estate with Allsopp and Allsopp.
That is not wild at all. An average for someone in sales is about 60 to 70. But I mean, there were over 77 agents in the business last year who made over £110,000.
£110,000.
That is crazy numbers.
Completely
We're not talking
tax-free.
about completely tax-free. We're not talking about a small chunk of the agents here. We're talking about 77 agents out of around 200 who are making
maybe a few more.
Maybe a few more who are making £110,000 tax-free. It's
sensational money.
It is. You're not going to get that in the UK.
So we keep talking about the fact that we're recruiting, okay? And that is because we're growing. That's as a business. We are basically feeling the benefits and the effects of what's happening in the marketplace, right? We wouldn't grow organically if the market wasn't allowing us to do so. So we're confident that the market is in a very good place and has been now for a number of years. Would you agree that we've seen and continue to see an upward swing on the real estate market in Dubai?
Yeah, well, I think if we compare even, let's say, July, for example, we ended up, I think we had 101% increase on revenue from July 2023 to 2022. That shows you already that we're ultimately doubling what we made last year. And there seems to be this kind of thing in real estate where, because it's going so well, everybody seems to think that all of a sudden it's going to drop and there's going to be a crash. We're not seeing any signs of that.
No, I think we continue to see growth. Year on year, there is continued growth. And even if I talk about my own experience, I've been here now just over 7 years. Every year, the economy has continued to grow, but more importantly, the business has continued to grow. Year on year, compound growth. That's not common in lots of businesses. Lots of other businesses may make cutbacks. They might decide that maybe they don't want to grow or open new departments. And actually, we've bucked the trend, really. We continue to improve and increase, but we could only do that if the economy was in a good place. And of course, all of these individuals that are migrating to Dubai, and of course, migration is up also year on year. People need places to live. Yeah, well, that's it. I mean, I think the Sheikh wants to double the size of the population to, I think it's 7.8 million by, is it 2040? 2040. I think does he not want to make it even bigger, more people than that? Yeah, it's crazy. And then, I mean, even when we're seeing now, like, coming out of Vision Tower and all you do is just see cars on the roads, and all of a sudden you start in traffic and you're thinking, this is frustrating. But then really, there's a flip side, and you think, there's so many people in Dubai right now, and like you said, the first thing that people want to do when they move here, they either want to rent a property or they want to buy a property, which means it's great for companies like us. I totally agree. People are coming here on holiday, and of course Dubai was voted the #1 place to visit on holiday. I made reference to that recently, saying, why not just actually move here and treat Dubai as your home as well as your holiday destination. But the market generally seems to be in a very, very good place. In fact, during H1, Dubai became the world's #1 real estate market, actually topping London, New York, and Paris, surpassing the figures that were set in the peaks of 2008 and 2014. Let's just dissect that for a second. Dubai, the UAE, the real estate market, has surpassed London, New York and Paris, 3 of the most, if you would say, respected, most established real estate economies in the world. And Dubai surpassed them. And let me just clarify, that's actually for the luxury market, which suggests that there's lots of people, investors coming here and investing in the super luxury market, which is crazy when you consider the point that I want you to raise right now. Yeah, well, I mean, we talk about the luxury market and it's the #1. It's overtaken New York, Paris, and London, which is amazing. That's kind of how people perceive Dubai. But what is really interesting is that 80% of total transactions in Dubai are actually for properties which are 3 million and under. And that's 3 million dirhams, which is around £600,000, which is kind of showing us that it's regular people with regular jobs that just want to move here. And we say regular in the 600,000, £500,000 is not regular for lots of places in the UK, but for Dubai, that is the norm. The norm, I guess you might say, entry level, maybe. Which, as you say, is crazy to say that level of property is being purchased as an entry level. But what does that say to us? It means, as you say, normal people. Normal, whatever normal is, but normal people are coming to Dubai and they are wanting to invest in the property market. Yeah, and I think a lot of people who come over, they will have these expectations that real estate, because they see things like Selling Sunset and Dubai Bling and all of these shows, they have this expectation that real estate in Dubai is selling penthouses on the marina or mansions on the palm. Yes, there is that element to that, but there are so many villa communities in Dubai that you will not have heard of if you've never been here before, like Mira, like Town Square, like Dubai Hills, like Damak Hills. This is your bread and butter properties, 2 million and above, and that is what is going to put the most money in your pocket. Yeah. Would you say that demand could potentially increase prices? Because actually in H1, we saw an average of 4 buyers per listed property. And with the way the market continues to go, we probably expect that during H2 to be at 8 potential buyers per listed property. Wow. Well, when you've got that level of demand, it means your price is going up. And actually, for the people that want to invest in the property market, and I'm sure you've got friends and family that will say this, I want to buy, but I'll buy next year when the market goes down. The market doesn't come down. And it's not about when you actually buy and what level you're buying at. It's how long you're going to remain in that real estate market for. But it's crazy because people will keep saying, "Oh no, I'll buy when the market comes down." Well, we've got news for you. It doesn't look like the market is coming down. So get on that ladder sooner rather than later, especially since, as I say, we expect the number of potential buyers to be 8 per listed property. So the demand is crazy.
It is crazy.
But it dovetails nicely into the number of developments which are actually launching this year. Actually, if we think about, even in the year that you've been here, Jordan, you will have seen developments come up. You live in a community called Damac Hills, right? And Damac Hills itself, there's towers going up all over the place.
Yes.
New stages of the development being developed. It's great news.
And then over the road, there's Damac Lagoons, which is supposed to be handed over in 2025. And I've never seen plans like it for that place. Me and my partner will sit there on a night and we will look at YouTube videos of Damac Lagoons, and we think 2 or 3 years' time, the aim is hopefully
to be there. So you want to be on the property line?
It looks unbelievable.
I like that.
Yeah.
I like that a lot. So let's talk about Dubai's population. We've seen a massive rise in people coming to Dubai. Yes, whether that's on holiday or actually to live here, both numbers are on the up and up. Client registrations with Allsopp and Allsopp have shot up 139% year on year. Now that to me suggests that the market hasn't slowed down, and especially so during the summer. We've for those people who've lived here a long time or know Dubai, there's this notion that it goes quiet or slow over the summer. Does it quieten slightly? Yes. Does it slow slightly? Yes. But actually year on year, it's increased.
It's like I said at the start of this podcast, from July last year, we've increased our revenue by 101%. If we're going from July to June, 2 months ago, I think it dipped by about 3%. But year on year, we're talking double the amount of money, more buyer registrations, and I think we register around 700 buyers weekly.
700 buyers weekly.
It's crazy.
Which means we've got no issues with lead generation, which means if you are moving here to work for Allsopp and Allsopp as a broker, the number of leads and the number of opportunities that you're getting to be put in front of people who want to buy, rent, seek mortgage advice is very, very high. And that can often be a concern for people moving from the UK, right? Or any part of the world. You know, you're moving to a country which potentially you've never lived in before, doing a job that you've never done before without a basic salary. There needs to be some assurity from the employer to the employee to say, look, yes, it's scary, it's apprehensive, we get it, but actually we're going to provide you with leads, we're going to provide you with this platform and this opportunity to earn money, but we do need you to show up. We do need you to own it.
Exactly. It's like what Lewis always says, we're looking for an entrepreneur, so an entrepreneur within a business.
Yep.
And you've got to treat this job like you are in 50-50 partnership with Allsopp and Allsopp. So we will give you the database, we will provide the lead generation. We have got the best marketing team in Dubai, bar none. We've got over 20
Some of them
people
joining us today.
Yes.
Thank you, guys.
We've got over 20 people in that team, so it actually acts as his own like in-house marketing agency itself, which is it's bigger than a lot of marketing companies in Dubai.
Massively so. And I think that's testament to the importance that Lewis and Carl place on, you know, making sure that their brand is out there. Effectively, we are adding lots and lots of tools to our arsenal, right? To make sure that the people that work with us have got everything available to them. And for those of you that haven't seen, we've actually launched Data Hub. Now, this is not new in terms of what's being done elsewhere. This information is accessible for anybody if they know where to look, but testament to the way that we operate as an agency, we've basically put it on a plate and introduced it to the world and said, you want to buy a property, you want to rent a property, you want mortgage advice, well actually do you want to know what they've sold for, do you want to know about market trends? And we've packaged it in a way that makes it super simple. And I am not going to lie, I did look at every transaction in the last 90 days in my community.
Doesn't sound like you.
I am the epitome of a nosy neighbour, but it goes that next level to the commitment that we have to the real estate industry to make sure that it's transparent, to make sure that it's fair, but ultimately to make sure that we continue to be the change makers. We're ahead of the curve. not chasing the people that are making it happen.
Yeah, that's it. And if you are someone like Kameron, who is a nosy neighbour, and you want to find out what Jane has sold her property for, who lives next door, then this is it. This is the tool. And just on that as well, this all ties into where that other 50% goes into, because we're giving 50% to you, which goes into your pocket, yes, but you want to know, is that other 50% getting reinvested back into the business? This is a prime example of what we will do to try and put even more money in your pockets. How can we get your phone to ring on a more regular basis? And that also, we've got the new office opening in, is it January, February next year?
I mean, TBC, I think, in terms of time frame, but we hope it's going to be Q1, yes, for sure. And of course, that's there because we are further adding to our team. We've identified that area is very good for our agents in terms of the locations that we operate in. But you're right, reinvesting the money that we generate as a business is huge. And actually, that goes right back to whenever you think about starting a business or you invest, most people will get to a level. And I'm saying most people, let's talk about most owners. Most owners will get to a level and they will be happy with what they're earning. They will take money from the business. They will enjoy their lifestyle. Fantastic. One thing Lewis and Carl have always made clear is that reinvest, which is why we're so steadfast on your 50% commission, on the basis that other 50% goes into making the business even better, even more successful than we were the year before, and that's the aim of the game, right?
Yeah, and that goes for every department as well. Of course, we're not just a real estate company. We've got a property management team, we've got recruitment, we've got mortgages, sales progression, holiday homes. The more the real estate side of the business grows, the more the other department grows.
And you would say that the cross-sell opportunities between those departments is incredible as well.
Yeah, absolutely.
Nice. So let me ask you this. Aside from the things that you've already mentioned, what can agents, would-be agents, tuning into this, listening and thinking, do I want to come to the recruitment event? What can they expect from us when moving to Dubai?
I think it's that tailored kind of, like when I hire someone, I know that they have got me as a point of contact all the way through to when they join the business and even for a few months after. I've got an incredible relationship with many of my hires in the business. I've classed them as friends, but it's that thing of you need that person to be able to speak to for all the stupid, silly questions that you think you've got that are not stupid questions to us, because we were thinking the exact same thing when we made this move. Things about phone contracts and how do I set up a bank account and how do I get a car and where do I stay? It's all these things that we will help you with and pretty much guide you through the full process so that you're not worried about all the small things, so you can just purely focus on when you get here, we will settle you in, and then your job is to be a real estate agent.
Would you say it's easy to be a real estate agent?
No, it's genuinely, it is going to be one of the hardest things that you ever do in your life, but if you're willing to put the work in and trust the process, you can make more money than what you could ever dream. And the good thing about Allsopp Allsopp, and I say this to you all the time, we are probably the only agency in Dubai that can take you to a level that even you don't think is possible. That's the difference.
You heard it here first. Now, let's have some fun, shall we? We do hundreds, if not thousands of interviews in a year, right? What would you say the best question is that you've been asked, and one that maybe you continually get asked that you like?
I like the question where people ask me what are the reasons that people fail.
Okay.
What separates good agents from bad agents, I'd say.
Okay. And not to give too much away for anybody who wants to interview, but what would you say that is?
It is not giving up too quickly. I'd say that is there's two things really. The first thing is not giving up too quickly, and that is all to do with us saying, if you're in lettings, it is going to take you a couple of months to build up that pipeline and close that first deal realistically. For sales, it could take you 4 or 5 months. That is the reality of real estate. And unfortunately, it's the people who come in and potentially haven't listened to what we've said in the first place. And the first couple of weeks, they'll be very, very motivated. They'll do the calls, but then all of a sudden, they're not really getting anywhere. They're not having much luck. They've not got much listings. Maybe a deal has fallen through and they give up. Okay. And that is the worst thing that you can do. You need to give it a few months before you're in a position where you can say, okay, I'm starting to see things paying off. This is working. This has been the right move for me. it takes time. You are not going to become an overnight success in real estate.
But you might be a success more quickly than you would be if you worked in another real estate market in another country.
100%. And the other thing, and this is quite funny, and it's the main thing, a massive thing that people will do when they move here, they will get sucked into the lifestyle. And what we mean by that, Dubai is the best place on the planet for lots of things. Whether it's the weather, the tax-free, whatever. Equally, the social scene, let's be honest, it's incredible. It's very easy for you to go to a beach club on the weekend, do a yacht party, do a brunch, and very quickly blow your money in your first couple of months because it's expensive.
Yes, it can be, yeah.
And when it is a tough job, Monday to Friday, and weekends as well, it's very easy for you to escape the kind of the difficulty of the job and drink on a weekend and end up running out of money and then being on the next flight home.
Okay.
We've seen it happen. It does happen to people.
We're saying then ultimately that actually patience, commitment to the job is massively, massively important. Yeah. Let me ask you this then. What has been one of the most absurd questions? Or maybe a question that you get asked me, why have you asked me that?
I got asked.
I think
once,
we might share this.
Yeah, I got asked once if you need to wear a tie, and if that's maybe the fourth question out of a group of questions, that's fine. But I said, "Have you got any questions for me?" The only question that this person had was, "Do you have to wear a tie?" And for me, that was kind of it was kind of the end of the interview.
What do you think that tells you about that candidate then?
They don't really care, and they've not really listened, or they're not done any research on the company.
They're not tuned in.
They're not tuned in. It's not really for them. And I mean, I've also been asked if you have to work weekends, which if you're in a real estate interview, you will know that real estate is not a 9 till 5. You're not contracted to work weekends, no, but a lot of your clients are going to come alive on weekends, on evenings, because they work Monday to Friday. So if you're not prepared to put those extra hours in and do viewings on weekends and after work, you're not going to make any money.
Well, ultimately, you're not going to become a millionaire working 9 to 5. No, simply, that's just not going to happen.
And that's probably why you've left the UK in the first place, to escape that 9 till 5 job. So if you're coming here and you're going to treat this like a 9 till 5, it will be a shock when you don't make any money and you'll be on the next flight back home.
So talking about some of the things that we've mentioned previously, and just specifically on your point of people not tuning in, people not doing their research, it's easier now than ever before for you to do research on a company that you want to join, a holiday that you want to go on, a car that you want to buy. It's all there in black and white, or colour if you want. But so many people still don't do it. So when they get to an interview and maybe they haven't done their research, and let's face it, our YouTube channel is incred. Our website has got so much information on whether or not it's house prices, whether it's just a nose around at properties that you might want to buy, mortgage advice, trends, everything. It's all there. So really what we're saying to people is, if you want a slice of the action, you want to work for Allsopp and Allsopp, you got to do your end of the bargain. We're providing you with this platform, this opportunity to earn money, but you got to turn up and you've got to know something rather than asking whether they've got to work weekends or wear a tie.
That's it. I mean, it's rather than, I don't want to give too much away of how to actually land a job with us, but if you're in an interview and you've done your research and you know who the owners of the business are, and you know when we were established, and you know how many offices are, and even if you're quoting from our podcasts from Mark and PK, automatically that raises my opinion of you.
It elevates you.
It does. It elevates you, because it makes me think, okay, you've taken some time outside of this interview to research into the company, and that shows to me that you are interested and that you really want to work it and that you're serious about the opportunity.
And so a pointer for anybody considering making an application is set yourself apart from the, on average, 4,000 applications that we are receiving on a monthly basis. You got to get yourself out of the crowd. Make a direct message, make a personalized message, but more importantly, you do your research. Yeah?
100%.
Love it. Jordan, it's been a pleasure talking to you today. Very much looking forward to meeting all of you lovely people in the UK. To reference, we're going to be in London starting Monday, the 4th of September. Then we're going to be off to Birmingham on the 5th, The 6th and 7th, we're going to be in Manchester, and we're going to be finishing up things in Newcastle. We hope that the recruitment event is going to be a success, and with everything that we've seen so far, we absolutely believe it will be. If you're interested in joining, then please do click the link and register your attendance. And as usual, like, share, comment, and subscribe, and we'll see you next time. Cheers, guys.